G'day and welcome to another episode. My name is Daethstro, the Aussie Geek, and today we are looking at the Age of the Primes rescue bot Heatwave. Now, Heatwave was technically the reason why I chased after Chase because I quite like Heatwave. Also, a side of a bit of a side tangent. These nozzles here, I think they blast water out of them, remind me very much of Wolverine's claw post, which is funny because the voice actor whose name's escaping me at the moment, who voices Heatwave, also voiced Wolverine in more than a few cartoon shows. So I find that rather hilarious and entertaining. But here is Heatwave, and he's big and he is chunky. You may have seen him as for the size comparison when it came to Chase. I want to assume, I don't have him, but I want to assume he is based off the, his name is in my head, I forgot it last time too, Bulkhead mold, that they did for one of the legacy versions. Like I said, I don't have the figure, so I can't verify, but considering how he looks and everything, he does give me a bulk head feel, even though he is obviously Heatwave. Once again, he is G1ified, I think is a term that some people use to fit the toy line. Not necessarily that he is one-to-one of full rescue bots. So that's fair enough. Although, funnily enough, so we have an axe, which makes sense. He's a fireman, so he needs his fireman axe. And I'm assuming this is meant to be hose nozzles, but to me it comes off more like a blaster, which is funny because Chase has his claw grabby thingy or grappling hook and doesn't have a weapon. So the irony being that the fireman gets a blaster and the policeman doesn't is just hilarious to me. And it just plugs into his hand. That was very tight. Yeah, not too bad. There's some few nubbins and things. I suppose you can plug them into other places, but there's that. Of course, the fire axe is just the fire axe. You do have a port here. I think it's more for plugging into things later. So put them off to the side. Now, one thing he definitely does have that Chase doesn't is he's got actually light piping. Now, I'm assuming it could be because Chase is from Legacy and Heatwave is from Age of the Primes, but I just find it interesting that you actually get Heatwave's rather, I know my torch is not the best, rather nice glowing blue eyes, so that's all right then. I really do need to get a smaller torch instead of my big one. So there's that. Now we can get down to articulation. His head can do a full 360. It can look up. It can look down. It can not go side to side. So I think it's a mushroom peg more than a ball joint. Not really. Although he can sort of look up in the direction. Arms can do it for 360. It feels like friction. He does have technically registered shoulders, and his tabs for his shoulders are nowhere near as strong enough. Yeah, that one he wants to pop out. We have upper bicep rotation. He does have hollow bits, but he is mainline, so big surprise. We do get elbow bend that goes that far. We have a wrist rotation. Nothing at our fingers or thumb. We have technically below waist rotation or crutch rotation, I guess you'd call it. Legs go up that far. Legs go back that far. You can detach the ladder to get it a little bit higher. So it does go up pretty high. You have angle out. It feels like a soft ratchet. You have knee bend that gets you that far. You have ankle tilt that goes way in, not really out. toe goes down all the way, but that's due for transformation mostly. And because of it also, your heel tends to go the same way. No rotation there. Oh, and he's got hip rotation instead of upper thigh, so that's all right. I always forget this. He does have, oh God, those tabs need to be stronger. He has ports here and here, here, several here, one here, which I'm trying to think of what that was for. I don't think there's any specific purpose for that one, but it is there. So there we go. All right, so we'll get to size comparisons after we get through the transformation. Now, it is better off to remove that ladder, and you also have a tab here, so I suppose you could hold it if you wanted to. We're just going to fold that up and then put that aside. All right, so he is a little bit... fiddly is not the right word, and it's... I'm trying to think of the right word for it, but you do feel like you're flexing things a little bit. So first things first, we're going to pop out his shoulders. And you need to also get it past this piece here. So out and just back. So he's going to flex a little bit, which is a little disappointing. Bring that out and bring that down, because what we're going to end up doing, I'll get that all the way down. We basically need to move this. So we're going to flip that up. That just tabs into here. We're going to straighten our head off, and we're going to flip this up. And it flips back here. So all our arms and everything comes with it. You have all these separate parts. So what we're going to do is, and honestly, part of this gives me grapple feels from Earthrise, and I'll show you why in a second. So what we're going to do, and I'm going to try my best to show this, you're going to pop the head down all the way. I'm going to say something. Oh, this. Hang on, that lifts up right. No, never mind. I'm thinking myself. There we go. That flips up. Now this is going to tab into here, more compressed than tab. So there we go. Even though it flexes a little bit, it's probably just going to keep popping out of me. You have a little cover here that connects into his chest. That's going to come up and fill that gap. It doesn't really lock in, it's just there. The arms, you have this tab here, this port here, and this port here. So these are going to come under like this, and they will swing sort of under this gap, and they will tab in like so. If I can line them up properly. There we go. You're then going to bend his elbows. You could probably do this before, but I'm doing it now. Bend these elbows and keeping that head relatively straight. These are going to go up into the chest cavity. Camera up a little bit. So what will happen is this has to go over this. So when it comes down, you have to get all this back. So I don't think there's a tab really, but it does have to go there. And that just does not like staying in place. It's supposed to lock in, but it's not. All right, so bring this down and push those up. So you're sort of flattening his elbows out underneath. Bring them down as far as it'll go. I probably actually got his fists too far forward. Come on. Actually, I might not have it pushed far enough back. I have to roll those shoulders a little bit. Bring that down. There we go. And you basically want the tire in the little gap. So that's all now locked in place. You want to bring this down, and that will fit into here. So that fills that out. That can stay where it is. So now all that is nice and secure. All right, you want to lift up this piece. You want to, I'm just remembering how this works. So you got a few unlocking points here. You have here, the hook's back here. So that's got to flip up. Come on. There we go. Just a little bit of pressure, but not too much. All right, because what this is going to do is this is all going to flip up because this is going to go into this gap. So we're going to fold that forward for now, just like that. Now we'll deal with the legs. The legs aren't too bad, but I have a thing for ball joints. So you're going to fold down his heels. You're going to flip in his back piece, whatever you want to call it. You're going to flip out his fuel tank and rotate. Now there's a ball joint, so if you pop it out, it's there. You can do the same on the other side. Fold out, flip up, rotate. Now we're just going to bring this out for the moment because I want to fold that back. Now I'm going to tab these two together. And now we can try to get this all worked out because what we need to do is there's this tab here that's got to go into here. So what we basically need to do is this is going to come up, right? So that was folded back like this. We want to fold it up. So his crutch is actually going to go behind here. You do have these two ports that go into these two, or two tabs that go into these two ports. Now you need to bend the legs. So bring them down. I probably should have, yeah. You're going to bend the knees. You're just going to make sure that these fuel tanks go past the legs for now. So bend the legs, like you're just bending the knees. That's going to come forward. And then what you want to do is, like I said, line up that port, not that you can really see it. And there's a tiny tab port in here. So this is going to go into here. This is pretty much got in there. So well, now that we've got it bent, we can probably actually line it up there to make it a little bit easier. So one there, one there. So then that's going to come around and these two are going to tab into those two spots. So round and just line things up. And I'm way too low. Have I got it? Nope, I haven't got it. So there's one. And there's two. Just give it a squeeze as need be. All right, so we're almost done. Now we're not going to do the legs just quite yet. You have this tab that's going to go into this port here, like so. Now we're going to bring back in the ladder. As you can see, he's not very flat. So you have these two pieces that are going to sit on the back of the thigh. So you're going to press that over that. It's not 100% secure, but it doesn't need to be. Just make sure it lines up. And then you have these grooves. When you flip the feet back, you need to line up the toes with those grooves. I don't think there's any... Oh, there might be a tabbing point there that I didn't notice. It just sort of goes over this little piece. So it's not really a tab, so to speak, but it sort of goes underneath the groove in the feet. And then you can just line that up as you need to. And now he's nice and flat. And there is Heatwave in his Firetruck mode. I have to rewatch Rescue Bots because I don't know if he's actually got this flat surface. But you can, of course, take these and find any holes that you can plug them into. So any of the 5mm ports. Well, that one doesn't work. But I think the idea is you have these tabs. So you have these ports. So you can put one there, let's say. And we can have our fire axe. That can plug in any way you want it to. But they can go in there. And so he can actually store his equipment. You could probably also put them on the ladder for weapon storage, I guess, or even, I suppose, just as putting them on the back here. Oh, yeah, that fits. I wasn't sure if it would actually fit properly. I can go there, I think I just did wonky. So yeah, so you can put it pretty decently in place. It's not too bad, little Firetruck mode. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So first size comparison, of course, we have to bring in Windblade. The camera up a little bit. So there is Windblade and Heatwave. So yeah, pretty good, honestly. Alright, let's get him back to robot mode, and then we can do the final size comparisons. So we can just pop the ladder off. We're just going to drop his feet. Alright, so we're doing everything in reverse basically. So we're going to fold his hips back to pop those off. I didn't want to entirely pop that off yet, but never mind. We're going to bring this down anyway, and we can bring those legs back. Now I'm going to pop off these two pieces, so the two sides out of his legs, so that way we can straighten his knees. We can untab his legs if he hasn't done so already. And we want to fold in, bring back, rotate, and in. And that one's done, and that can be closed. Open up this one. Also, you have this tab, this port, same on the other side. In, rotate, down, close. Thought I was going to burp for a second there. You can fold his feet out now if you really, really want to. If you can get your nail in the right spot. Come on. Just needs, is there one? Not really. I was going to say, it needs just like a little nubbin to, I haven't even got my tweezers here at the moment, so I'll just use the axe. Yeah, and this is the moment I break my axe. There we go. One. It's not that tight, it's just awkward. There we go. Alright, so we want to straighten this up. We can bring this down a little bit. We want to fold it back and fold it in. So we have fold back and fold in. That'll lock in. We can bring our torso down, I suppose you'd call it. Even though I suppose most of this is the torso. Alright, so this is the more difficult part, and it's sort of done it for me. Before I push it back in, is getting this out. You might be able to get your nail in, but it can be a little bit awkward. So just beware, and you just want to flip that back. Alright, now to get this up, and this can be a pain in the butt. It's a matter of trying to find where to put your hands. So I try to grab his wheels and get my nail in just behind the front grill and pull, which does not always work, because you need to get it past his elbows a bit. Come on. There we go. I think I had that problem with, like I said, Earthrise hoist as well. So then we can bring his shoulders down. And we're just going to straighten. I don't think I get too much more straighter. I should be able to. What's in the way? I don't think there's anything in the way. It's just look at weird. So you want to push down on this panel and bring that all the way forward. There is a tab point there, which I'm not quite sure where it is. We can then, of course, bring our head up. Not all the way, because it won't go all the way with the way this is angled. So you just want it so it looks like it's going to be flat. All right, we want to split those arms. And we can probably raise them a little bit higher than we have been. Yeah, we'll try it. So this is going to come down, and I want to say it locks into here. But I don't think so. It's just a matter of making sure to stay past those shoulder tabs. And just make sure that head's going to fit through. There we go. So that should be as flat. Oh, no, those shoulders are still a little in the way. So that's what it is. So you have these ports here that go into the grooves here. That comes down. I think my shoulders are still in the way. There we go. It's not a tab, so to I suppose I was just going to say you could probably get a backwards ab crunch out of that, but not really. And then, of course, you have the tabs on both sides. You can bring your shoulders up and tab those in if you've got them aligned properly. So those will obviously go over the gaps. You can then bring this down. You have this tab here that's going to go in this port, like so. And I think I've got his shoulder. No, I don't know if I've got his head up high enough. And I don't think I'm going to be able to get my finger in there far enough to find out. There we go. No, I didn't have it high enough. So just a little push. Just a little push. There we go. That's sitting a lot better. And of course, we can straighten our arms out. And there is technically a specific way to put his ladder on. So we can bring this down. Oh, that's another thing. You could always use as a shield if you really want to. Anyway, so you pull that down and you're looking for these two pieces here. So those were the pieces that our feet were sitting on. They are going to fit between these two. So you plug in and give it a bit of a wiggle and a flatten. And as you can see, they've fit in perfectly in that gap. And then, of course, you can arm him up or get him ready for rescues. So we'll put that one back in there. And we'll put that one back in there. And Heatwave is ready to go rescue some people. So there we go. All right, size comparison. Put him all the way back. Here he is with MP10. So going from the top of his head, not necessarily his ladder, which I think from this angle looks more weird. He's about midway up Prime's abs. So there's that. And we can bring him in a little bit closer. And of course, here he is with Chase. And I mentioned this in Chase's video, but I'll quickly mention it again. These guys do not fit to the scale that is shown in Rescue Bots. All the bots are the same height in Rescue Bots. In this case, Chase is smaller. He's a deluxe. I want to say that he weighs a Voyager, I think. Just off the top of my head. Because I don't think he's quite leader class, but someone can correct me if you really want to. But yeah, in the show, they're all the same height, roughly, and size. But for the sake of the line, and I'm guessing to fit in what they wanted to, yeah, Heatwave is definitely the tallest. So just be aware of that if you're doing a rescue bot collection. Chase is the smaller. I don't know how that's going to go with Blades, or I want to say his name. It's either Scavenger or Scrap. I have a feeling this green construction vehicle has one of the Constructicon names. Kind of makes sense. So there we go. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give me a thumbs down. I promise you will not hurt my feelings. Subscribe, ring that bell, leave me a comment. And apart from that, thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.